ఎక్స్చేంజ్ 8,000 రూపాయల బ్యాలెన్స్ మ్యామ్.
ఇవ్వనక్కర్లేదమ్మా, 8,000 మీకే వస్తాయి.
ఎస్ మ్యామ్, మేము కేవలం హాల్మార్క్ 916 గోల్డ్నే అమ్ముతాం. ఇంకా మీకు దొరికింది 100% ఎక్స్చేంజ్ వాల్యూ.
క్వాలిటీ, ఇది మలబార్ ప్రామిస్.
ఇది మా హీరో అల్లుడు కోసం ఫిట్ గా ఉంటుంది.
పర్ఫెక్ట్ గా ఫిట్ అవుతుంది. ఇది మైండ్ డైమండ్, 100% క్వాలిటీ.
సార్, ప్రతి మైండ్ డైమండ్ న్యాచురల్. ఇంకా మేము 28 క్వాలిటీ టెస్ట్లు చేస్తాం.
28 టెస్ట్లా?
ప్రతి డైమండ్ జ్యువెలరీతో పాటు ఇంటర్నేషనల్ ల్యాబ్ సర్టిఫికేట్ కూడా.
కళ్ళు మూసుకుని మీ హీరో కోసం వజ్రాలను తీసుకోండి. ఇది మలబార్ ప్రామిస్.
Mom, what did the man mean when he said go back to where you came from?
Go back, wherever you're from.
Why do they make fun of my name at school?
Kamala.
Dad, who will protect us from climate change?
Global warming, and a lot of it's a hoax. It's a hoax.
Why is Nani coming back from hospital?
Our family's future is at stake. The choice is ours. Vote Asaf and Warnock.
I'm a lifelong Republican and I'm pro-business.
I'm a Georgian and I believe in personal responsibility.
I'm a Georgian and I rely on my Social Security and Medicare.
I am a mother and I believe in immigration policies that support family unity.
My party is not fiscally responsible anymore.
It's irresponsibility that's costing us our lives.
It threatens my Social Security and Medicare.
It is keeping our families apart.
That's why
I am
voting
Asaf and Warnock.
ఎక్స్చేంజ్ 8,000 రూపాయల బ్యాలెన్స్ మ్యామ్.
ఇవ్వనక్కర్లేదమ్మా, 8,000 మీకే వస్తాయి.
ఎస్ మ్యామ్, మేము కేవలం హాల్మార్క్ 916 గోల్డ్నే అమ్ముతాం. ఇంకా మీకు దొరికింది 100% ఎక్స్చేంజ్ వాల్యూ.
క్వాలిటీ, ఇది మలబార్ ప్రామిస్.
ఇది మా హీరో అల్లుడు కోసం ఫిట్ గా ఉంటుంది.
పర్ఫెక్ట్ గా ఫిట్ అవుతుంది. ఇది మైండ్ డైమండ్, 100% క్వాలిటీ.
సార్, ప్రతి మైండ్ డైమండ్ న్యాచురల్. ఇంకా మేము 28 క్వాలిటీ టెస్ట్లు చేస్తాం.
28 టెస్ట్లా?
ప్రతి డైమండ్ జ్యువెలరీతో పాటు ఇంటర్నేషనల్ ల్యాబ్ సర్టిఫికేట్ కూడా.
కళ్ళు మూసుకుని మీ హీరో కోసం వజ్రాలను తీసుకోండి. ఇది మలబార్ ప్రామిస్.
Mom, what did the man mean when he said go back to where you came from?
Go back, wherever you're from.
Hello viewers, we are back with your much awaited program Talk Show with the Experts on TVASIA Telugu. Manatho unnaru Rahul Reddy garu. He's the founder of Reddy Neumann law firm based out of Houston, Texas. Welcome to the show, Rahul garu.
Thanks for inviting me. Thanks for TVASIA for conducting this one.
Thank you so much for coming in every week and answering so many of our viewers' questions and being so helpful with them. And thanks for your advice, great advice.
Thank you.
So this week, I think it's going to be in continuation to what we had from last week onwards. Now that we have seen the things being passed in the Senate and everything seems to be going good, what do we have to do to make the things flow through well, even in House of Representatives and then it becoming a law?
There is a slight twitch to it, and this is very important. We've been fighting about this for a long period of time. There is a technical twitch there. The House has to still pass this bill again. They don't have to pass the bill. They just have to do the technical amendments required. It is staged in the House right now. This is coming to House on Monday. They may extend it until Tuesday because they're also contemplating of passing the major bill with regards to the COVID issues with regards to the finances to support the business. But on top of that, there's a small twitch to it. We need to get this bill out. It seems that we have enough support. According to the stats, though, this bill is supported by almost like 385 people out of the 385 people supported this bill. In the House, 65 people were against in the bill. When it goes back to the House, we have the full majority, but we need to get this one out. If this doesn't get it out this week, the coming week, we may lose the entire opportunity. So I need all the audiences in this who are listening to this one, approximately about 50,000 plus people listen to TV Asia, at least to our show. I want everybody to go and write a letter to the congressman. The link is provided in the bottom. The immigrationgirl.com has a link there. TVASIA provided it. If not, you can go to immigrationgirl.com. You need to write a letter. Why is this important? This bill is taking the discrimination off. What it is doing is that it is allowing everybody to be on the equal grounds. I remember that when my boss came into United States, this was in long time ago. I mean, it was in 60s. What he told was that he has to stand at the back of the bus when he gets onto the bus. And there are things that were, there in that were discriminated. Until the civil rights movement came in, we were never been treated equally in this country. Once the civil rights movement came in, we have been treated equally to a sense. But if you look into the immigration law, we are still not treated equally. Just like the way slavery removal, just like the way civil rights movement, this bill is as important for certain nationals. Right. This is because nobody is observing it. Oh yeah, you can't discriminate. Yeah, you can't discriminate. If you're an immigrant, you can discriminate. You can say, hey, if you belong to this country, we'll discriminate. That law is still there. Now, this particular legislation is not completely eliminating it, but to an extent though, at least to 75% to 80% of it, it is going to take it off. Right. This bill also allows the people who has an I-140 approval for more than 2 years, even if the priority date doesn't become current, they can file the adjustment of status and be independent of the employer. That is going to be very important. Since this bill is going to be in the House, I want you to go and write a letter to the House of Representatives. And once you write a letter, it is very important which representative you have to write a letter. We have given a link in there in the immigrationgirl.com. That's my business partner's blog. She has drafted a letter for you. She has given a link where you can go and you need to send this letter. This week is the time to act. If you miss it, you may miss this opportunity. You and your entire family might suffer for the next 50 years. You may not get the green card. You will be coming to this show often. We don't like you to coming to this show. We want you to get the green card and get it out. We don't want you to keep coming to this show because you're coming to this show because you didn't get the green card. You get the green card citizenship, you wouldn't have coming to this show, most probably. So it is very important that you write this letter. Now, some people have objected to me when I have posted this in other YouTube sessions, and they say, hey, I'm not from India. Why should I write a letter to the congressman? Here is my theory. You don't have to be a black person to eliminate the discrimination. You don't have to be a particular religious person to eliminate the discrimination. You just have to be human. I mean, could it be that, we go to Olympics. Oh, Indians are not getting Olympic medals. So let's do one thing. Tie the legs of all the other races people, and then they will have one leg race tied up, and then we are going to run. That's not fair. That's not fair. So the entire legislation, what is not fair. Even if you're not an Indian, even if you're not any of the people who are negatively affected, though, to discriminate based on the birth is wrong. To discriminate based on the birth. Now, to discriminate based on the choice. Yeah, if I smoke cigarette, if I drink alcohol, you want to discriminate. That is based on the choice. Where I am born, where you're born is not your choice. You just were born. you don't have a choice. For the things that you don't have a choice, you should not be discriminated. Nobody should be discriminated based on the birth. They can be discriminated based on their choice, what they want. That's different. This is discrimination based on the birth that you do not have the control. This needs to be gone. This is the only chance that you have to get the attention of the House.
So very well said, Rahul Garu. I think this is a request from each of us. Please act on it. Please follow the link. Let's all raise our voice and send a letter out to the House of to the House of Representatives here and make sure our efforts are being heard. And
that's very nice of me.
Very humble request that we are making to each of us. It is regardless of being an Indian national or not. Let us all raise our voice against this discrimination against the per country that is happening here, based on like Rahul Reddy Garu rightly said, based on our birth. So Rahul Garu, I think we can. We have a lot of callers waiting. I'm sure there are a lot of questions they have, and also we have a lot of questions here on YouTube. Let's take the first caller here. I'm seeing the caller ending with 8010. Before we take the caller's question, let's quickly take a YouTube question. This is from Raj T. The question we see here is, it is why his wife is on H1B and she's my derivative on I-485. She will get 6 out of 12 weeks of paid FMLA, and the remainder of the 6 weeks she will not be paid. Is that okay from H1B and I-485 standpoint?
She's on H1B and 485. If she is on the FMLA leave, that's perfectly all right. Okay. There's nothing wrong with it.
Okay. Good. I think that's your answer, Raj Garu. We have the, yep. We have the caller here. Can you please go ahead with your question?
Hey, hi, good afternoon. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, first of all, I just wanted to mention that I looked at your other show and sent the letter from my side.
Sounds good. Thank you very much.
Drop in the ocean. So my question is, I'm kind of looking ahead a bit. My next visa renewal is in next November 2021. My priority date is April 2014, and I used the downgrade stuff that most of us did. That was the reason why I'm asking this question is last time when I had extended my visa in 2018, that time, you know, this Trump administration had come in and things had gone a little tricky. And I have worked for the same client through the same employer for last 7 years. But I'm like in a contracting company. So my initial visa was rejected for the first time, right? After so many years during that time. But since we had time, another visa was what they did is California one was rejected, so they put one in Nebraska, and that one got approved for 3 years. So sheer inconsistency there, but that's a story in the past. So now I have my visa until 2021, and I'm a little circumspect next time. You know, been through that rejection once. So only my question was, you know, my question is coming to that, like wait for EAD, what's the timing? I haven't yet got my receipt of the current upgrade. Should I wait till, you know, end of November of next year, last minute to kind of renew my visa? Or
so you already filed the adjustment of statuses, right?
Yes, the downgrade one in October. Most of us did. Right. I did on like last week of October.
So you're good. I don't see you any problem whatsoever at all. Right now, you should be getting an EAD by November 2021. Is there a chance you may not get an EAD? Yeah, there's a chance. But you can do one thing, is that if you file an extension of the H-1B in November of 2021, okay, you have up to 240 days to work on the extension until it is decided. So even if your EAD is not approved by the time, you're speaking of November of 2021, plus 240 days afterwards, you will get an EAD approval by that time.
Got it. So
you're safe.
Just one thing. Yeah. So there's one thing. So
even if your H-1B gets denied, you can work by the time it gets denied. Until the time you gets denied, your H-1B is valid, is right? I mean, you can work. So 240 days. In the meantime, you get an EAD, you can withdraw the H-1B. You're safe. I don't see any problem for you.
Yeah. So, I mean, just to quickly wrap up on that, like before this EAD opportunity came in October, obviously my plan was to go ahead and again, file as soon as possible in June so that I get time for the second, if in case second.
Yeah, right now, I got your point. I would not do that. I would once get the I-140 approved. Once you get an I-140 approved though, if I were you, I would not do the same thing what you have done in your previous H-1B extension. You did perfect, very good job last time. Absolutely the best thing that your lawyer can do, your company can do. Absolutely, I like the entire team that supported you. But I would not recommend that you do it going next. I would not do that. You go going next time under your current situation. I would not recommend you do the same thing. Okay?
Got it. And one quick follow-up question is basically you have been recommending I-140 in premium, right? Once we get the receipt.
Absolutely.
Again, based on my last experience, I'm like, being from a consultant company and all of that.
I got the point. Remember, last time when you do the premium processing, you benefited. You did not get a lose. Had you not done the premium processing initially, guess what would have happened? You would have got the result after your I-94 expired, and you would have been screwed up and not in adjustment of status, not in this TV show right now. So practically to get a result of the I-140 for you is as important as it was for you what you got a result in the H-1B last time.
Okay. I mean, just that speculation of having an RFE or rejection because of premium.
You just got it. You just got it early. There is no stat that says that you got it because of the premium processing. You just get everything earlier by premium processing. That's all. Okay. I would strongly recommend you do the premium processing. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks a lot for your time.
Thank you. Thanks, Andy. Let's take the next caller here. The caller ending with 355. So let's take the caller. And before the caller's question, Rahul Garu here, I have a question from YouTube, Andy. The question says, I have approved I-140 with consular processing. I am an H-1B new which got approved this year after I-140 approval, but not tied with I-140 now. Can I directly file I-485 adjustment of status?
So he's not working for the same company for the I-140? Is that what you're telling?
That's what it looks. I have approved with consular processing. So this seems to be on a new one.
Let me look into it. If it is approved in the consular processing though, okay? If he's working with the same company, he can file an adjustment of status. He can file an adjustment of status. Absolutely no problem with it.
If he's working with the same company, you mean?
If he's working with the same company, even though the I-140 is approved for the consular processing, he can do the adjustment of status here. No problem. None whatsoever at all.
Okay. That's good. Good to know, Andy. So let's take the caller's question here. The caller ending with 3551.
Hi, my name is Vignesh. Good afternoon. Thanks for taking the call. Hi, I have a question. My wife is on a F1 visa, but we are expecting a child in next month. So we converted her to the H4 change of status, which we did the change of status sometime in the August. And my extension was due on March 2021, and my extension got approved. And also we filed the H4 extension as part of that as well.
Of course.
The challenge is the initial change of H4 status went to California Center, which has now 20 months of wait period. And the second one went to Nebraska, which has 4 to 6 months of wait period. Now, since we are expecting a baby, she cannot continue to the school moving forward. So we are planning to withdraw from the school itself. Is it still fine? We can withdraw from the F1 from the school so that she can be on the H4. Okay.
Absolutely. Once you file the H4 though, and you put the start date as, as the date that you filed the application, there's no reason for her to continue in F1. She can withdraw immediately.
Oh, okay. Thank you, sir. Thanks for that. And is it like if it is 20 months next, what are the wait period is in California Center? Is there an opportunity that Nebraska extension can get approved?
There is a chance, even though it's a second extension, there is a chance that Nebraska might just approve it without California acting on it.
Oh, sure, sir. And the biometric, it's kind of, we didn't get any of the biometric, even the first change of status and extension.
Did you apply EAD or just H4?
Just a H4.
What's the hurry? I mean, you'll get it. Right now, the administration is changing in January. Hopefully, so they may eliminate the biometrics. There is a possibility for it. If they don't also, they may at least expedite the process, though.
Oh, thank you, sir. And one last question. And if on any emergency, she cannot travel to India, right? So is that strictly
Absolutely,
restricted?
she can travel to India. Absolutely no problem with it. Absolutely. Even if the H4 is not approved, she can travel to India. But you know that she has to get a H4 visa to come back into the United States. And she doesn't need any H4 approval to go for the H4 stamping.
Oh, okay. Sure. That's really helpful.
She can use your H1. She can use her H1 approval. She can use her H1 approval to go to get a H4. She doesn't need an H4 approval. Okay.
Awesome. Sure. Thank you, sir. And even if even like 6 months is done, she can still stay in the country without any issues, right, sir?
Absolutely. You filed a H4. Receipt notice is there. There is no 6 months. There is no 240-day rule. She can stay in the United States. Not a problem at all.
Sure. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for the help. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Rahul Garu, let's take the next caller here. And 9353 is the caller. And I have a question from YouTube in the meantime. The question is from 𝗦𝗂𝗧𝗔𝗟𝗞 𝗦𝗪. He's asking, my parents got 1 year I-94 till I think it's February 1st. Since my father has a pre-existing condition, I am planning to file extension to avoid high COVID cases and may get the vaccine here now that the vaccine is out. Please let me know if you see any issues in filing, advise any must supporting documents.
Yeah, he's saying about the B2. His dad is on B2, I'm assuming. So, is that right?
That looks like it. It's not under the COVID conditions, though, yes. Normally, we do not recommend anybody to file one extension, and obviously second recommendation at all. But this is not the normal circumstances. The sky fell down. When you hear the death, serious conditions, this family member, that family member, this friend's parents, that friend, it's so frequently we do hear. There's nothing wrong in filing a second extension, especially under these conditions. There's nothing wrong in it. But one thing I want this guy to be aware of is that once the pandemic is over, I don't want these parents to come back into the United States at least within 2 years after they exit, because that will create a lot of doubts in the CBP that they're actually staying here and visiting India. Pandemic, yes, they're staying here, but if they're planning to come back anytime sooner, once they leave the country, they should check with a lawyer. Yeah. I guess, Manoj Garu, that's your answer. And good luck with the extension. So we have the caller here, caller ending with 9353. Please go ahead with your question. You may have to unmute yourself. Please press *6 to unmute yourself.
Okay. We can go to one of the question of the Venkat from YouTube is asking a question. He has filed a 485 application and then he lost the job. What are the effects of it though? There are two things here, Venkat. One is that there is a H1B, there is a 485 application though. The H1B, hopefully you are still on H1B because you just filed an adjustment of status. The H1B says that you have a 60-day grace period when you lose the job. Assuming that you filed an adjustment of status with the company that you're already working with, if you lose the job, just hold on for a minute, sir.
Sir, hold on for a minute. We are answering a YouTube question, sir. Just we'll get back.
The 485 application, since you filed and you lose the job within 180 days, your 485 application will be automatically denied, or you should not consider that 485 application. You have to move on, because otherwise you will be in trouble, because later on when the USCIS finds that you left the job within 180 days after you filed adjustment of status, they will deny the 485 application.
Okay. Thank you, sir. That was the question. I just see it is on YouTube. Thank you so much for taking that. We have the caller here. Yeah, please go ahead, sir. Caller ending with 76.
Hi, Rahul.
Hey,
and my name is Satyanarayana. So, sir, the I-140 approved 2018 law in so it was approved in a company with company A. So, very company ki move ayanamata. So, in company A ki only back move aite. So, still they have to do this perm and I-140.
Did they withdraw the I-140 or they did not withdraw the I-140?
So they have not withdrawn yet.
If they have not withdrawn, they don't have to do permanent I-140 again. They can use the same I-140.
So if they have withdrawn, they have to do perm and I-140 again.
You said they have not withdrawn, is right?
Yeah, they have not withdrawn.
If they have not withdrawn, they do not have to do perm and I-140.
Okay. If they have withdrawn, sir?
If they have withdrawn, they don't have to do perm. They have to do I-140 again.
Only I-140.
That is right.
Okay.
And
okay.
And then I want to take the occasion to mention to the people that this bill does not only move the priority dates, it also allows people whose I-140 is approved for more than 2 years, and if they are working with the same company, they can file the adjustment of status. The only thing is that what is not clear is that when is this law becoming effective, though? It may, according to my reading, I think so the priority date movements will be effective on October of 2022. Not October of 2021, but October of 2022, which is almost like about 1 year and 10 months. But to my reading, though, allowing to file an adjustment of status for the people whose I-140 is approved for more than 2 years should go into effective that, but we need to look into how the USCIS is going to interpret that law. So everybody be watchful on it. We may have one more big thing coming out to file an adjustment of status in the next 1 month.
Well, okay, sir, ingo question. So 185 approve అయిపోయిన తర్వాత, let's say I lost my job. So still do I
Did you say I-485 approved or I-140 approved? There are two different things.
Sir, 485, sorry, 485, sir.
Once your 485 is approved, that means you are a green card holder. Once your green card is approved, you can do one thing. You can sit at home and do nothing for the next 5 years if you want to, or you can be a Microsoft CEO if you want to, or you can flip a burger in McDonald's. It doesn't matter. You are in good shape.
Okay. So still, even if we are on EAD, still we need to maintain the status?
If you are in adjustment of status. Well, you're asking questions too many. Let's give a chance to other people, okay?
Okay, sir. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Rahul, a quick question. And you were just mentioning about anyone can file like after 2 years. Should the company file for us, or can the person who can file?
The company has to file the initial adjustment of status application. If the I-140 has been approved for more than 2 years, you're still working for the same company. The company has to file. But once the company files, it passes 6 months, Sita. Then you are more independent. You can move to a different company by having some other company file a 485J supplement. It's the easiest thing to do it, not unlike our previous caller who poor guy got his H1B got denied and he have to file again. 485J supplement is more easier. Let's go to the caller.
Let's take the caller here. The caller here is 2635. Please go ahead with your question, sir.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
Okay. Hi. Hi, Rahul Garu. Hi, Sita. And thank you for giving this opportunity. So I have a question about I-140. I have an approved I-140 and it's not yet 6 months over. But when is the right time to apply for FOIA? And I have a follow-up question.
Good question. You're smart. You've been listening to us a lot. You can do right now. One thing is that the date on which they issue the documents for you is very important. not the date you filed though. If they issue the documents 6 months after the I-140 is approved, then you're in good shape. How long it's been that your I-140 is approved?
Now it's like 4 months as of this week.
Are you planning to leave the company anytime soon?
So that's a good question, sir. So I'm just eagerly waiting for how this bill goes. Actually, it's a lot dependent on that.
Right.
So
did you write a letter to the congressman?
Yes, I did. I did write a letter to Michigan House District 14 Representative Brenda Lawrence.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Make sure all your friends, families, everybody write them. And if they don't write, never ever do the friendship with those racial bigots. Okay?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. You can do one thing. You can file right now. You can file after 2 months. What the heck? It's free.
Okay. Okay. So I can file it after 2 months. That's what you
can file it right now. You can file it after 2 months. You can do both the things.
Okay.
You're not paying any money.
So there's no problem. Yeah,
no problem.
Not any fee for it, but you can apply it and get it. So I have another question with regard to dependents. Thank you. And if dependents H4 extension is filed, and if I wish to change the job, so what are my options before I get a call for biometrics, and after
I would if you do that, what I want you to do is I want to make sure, because your spouses and children I-94 might have expired. I want you to file one more H4 extension, even though the previous extension might have asked for 3 years. Don't take a chance and file one more H4 extension for your family. The reason is that when you move from this company A to company B, company A will withdraw the H-1B under legal obligation. They have to withdraw the H-1B. The officer doesn't look, oh, the underlying H-1B has been withdrawn, I'm going to deny the H-4. They won't look into that you moved to a different company. So I don't want to take the chances. I want you to file one more H-4 application.
Okay. Yeah, sounds good. Thanks a lot, Rahul Garu.
Thank you very much. I like the educated audiences, the persons who have writing letters, the persons who knows about freedom of information. Thank you. Very educated audience.
Yeah,
thank you, sir.
I'm a regular follower of all your sessions, so I'm on that always. Thank you. Thank you for the
very much,
sharing. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and please pass the word as well to write the letters. This week and next week is all we have. Let's take the next caller, Rahul Garu here. The caller ending with 5637. And before the caller's question, let's have a YouTube question, Andy. The question is from Priya G. And what she's asking is, I have applied for adjustment of status in October this year, EB3 direct. Can I stay on H-1B if my spouse gets married to adjustment of status?
You can stay on H-1B even if your spouse gets, since you are the main applicant in this one, you can stay. You don't have to get married. If your spouse gets married to the adjustment of status, you can continue. But I don't see a purpose though, because you don't want to get a green card with your spouse not getting it. But technically, to answer your question, yeah, it's fine. You can still maintain your H-1B if you want to.
Okay, that's your answer, Priya Garu. Let's take the caller's question, Andy. If you're hearing us on YouTube, there could be some lag, sir. Please ask your question here. You are on mute. Can you please press *6 to unmute yourself? In the meantime, probably we can take, yeah.
I will take one of the YouTube question, Andy. Go ahead, sir.
Good evening, Rahul Garu. Do you hear me?
Yes.
Good evening, sir. I have only one question. I filed for my I-485 in 2011, and when I submitted all the documents, I submitted the originals of my affidavits supporting my date of birth. So, like, anytime my priority date might become current, like maybe in the next 2 months. So, in that case, like, as I submitted the original documents, right, I did retain only the copies of the affidavits.
What original documents have you submitted?
Originals for the affidavit for date of birth.
Okay. You shouldn't have submitted the originals.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have submitted the originals though. But go ahead
because
with the
my
question.
attorney at that time, my attorney asked for it, so that's why I submitted the originals, and there was no obligation in 2011
Okay,
for an interview.
Go ahead with your question.
So now when I go for the interview, like, will there be any problems because I don't have the originals and I do have only the copies? Or can I get the affidavits from some other relatives or
That's better.
friends?
That's better. Get from some other relatives. Get from the same relatives one more time. Nothing wrong with it.
One of the relatives passed away, sir, unfortunately.
I'm sorry about that. Yeah, you can get from any other relatives. Absolutely no problem. So if you have two people given, two of your uncles, aunts have given you, get from two other relatives, keep it with you. If they say, hey, send the originals, I send the originals to immigration, I don't have it. Here is the other two originals, you show it to them, you'll be fine.
Okay, cool, sir. Thank you so much. Thanks for your time.
I have this question from YouTube that I really want to answer. This question is that Smart Code has this question. For filing an adjustment of status under the new bill, does it have to be 2 years after the priority date has been established, or is it 2 years after the I-140 approval? Unfortunately, it is 2 years after the I-140 is approved. Originals, you show it to them, you'll be fine. So 2 years after the I-140. Let's go with the question, 𝗧𝗔𝗟𝗞.
Okay, let's take the next YouTube question here, Andy. It's from 𝗧𝗔𝗟𝗞 𝗦𝗂𝗎.
For filing an adjustment,
sir, do you mind disconnecting? I think there is some echo.
He can ask the question too. Yeah, that's fine.
The new caller, sorry. It's a new caller, looks like. Yes, sir. Go ahead with your question. 2065. That is our caller.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hey, thanks, Rahul, sir, for helping the community. I have one question. Like, I filed my I-485, like, and downgrade in month of November. 2nd of November, I sent that file, my document to USCIS, hopefully in the California center. My question is that, like, as you mentioned in your most of the shows, like after 180 days, if I want to change the job, I can use supplement J and change the job.
Is your I-140 approved?
Currently,
wait.
Yeah, I-140 approved in EP2 category, so I downgraded it.
Okay. Well, if it's downgraded though, I also want your I-140B to be approved, and I also want you to wait 6 months, 180 days after your I-140 is approved.
Yeah. But my question is that, like, I can easily go and file the supplement J, like after 180 days, and change the job. My wife is currently on H4 EAD, and my question is that my wife is on H4 EAD, and her H4 is EAD expiring on 1st of Jan. So after 180 days, can she also use this I-485 opportunity and do the job if she is not getting the EAD?
First thing is that I want to take back what you said about the 180 days. Let me answer that question though. It is not safe that if your I-140 is pending, we do not advise people to change the job after 180 days. Is that clear to you?
Okay.
The second thing, this is not an absolute requirement, but this is a better, after your I-140 is approved, I want you to not change the job for 180 days after the I-140 is approved. This is not a law, this is just for a safety. Did you get that point?
Yeah, I'm clear on that.
Okay. Now let's go to because you're assuming that there's 2 points that you said is correct, but I want to correct those 2 points. The third thing is that your wife's EAD is expiring on January of 2021. She can work, but she needs to get an EAD. She's an adjustment of status. There is no EAD for her, is that right?
I agree with you, but after 180 days, my question is that, like, after 180 days, I can file like supplement J and move on the job. Though I said no. I said no. You can't. Now you're telling again you can. No, it's okay. Even I'm not planning to do anything. But can she use the same rule after 180 days of filing? Can she be like filing
Can she be
supplement
what?
because she is not a primary member.
She doesn't file a supplement
So she
J.
cannot use that pending her I-140 is also pending from more than 180 days, correct?
Did she file a separate 485?
Hello?
She's a dependent on you, is that right?
Yes, yes.
If she is a dependent on you, and your question is, can she work in February of 2021, is that right?
Not February, like April or May, once her 180 days is complete.
Where is 180 days is only for you. It has nothing to do with her.
Oh, she cannot work until she will get a EAD from this I-1.
Thank you. You got the
I-485.
point. That is right. She has to get an EAD. Once she gets an EAD, she's free to do whatever she wants to. She is not obligated with any particular employer. She is a dependent 485 application. She can work for any company. She's not obligated. She can be flipping a burger. She can be a Microsoft CEO. She can do anything she wants to do. Okay? But she needs to get the EAD approval. That 180 days has no meaning for her. It's the EAD that has a meaning for her. Okay?
And she don't need to file any supplement J or anything, correct?
That is
After
absolutely
getting the
right.
EAD.
485J supplement is only for you. Nothing for her at all. You don't need to file anything. I was a dependent EAD person when I was an immigration lawyer. I practiced law when I was on adjustment of status EAD. My wife was a primary applicant. So I was free to do whatever I want to. I did it. I was an immigration lawyer. So your wife can be too.
Okay.
She has no obligation. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye.
Thank you. Let's take the next caller here, Andy. The caller ending with 9054. And before that, YouTube question, Rahul Garu. It is from Rahul V. What he's saying is, my ED2 priority date is October 2011. My employer did not agree for a downgrade. Can you please let me know if it's possible that October 2011 filing date be current in 2021 October, or should I think of a new job?
Wow, that's very, it's very sensitive though. Yeah. One thing is that he needs to watch what, he needs, just hold on for a minute, sir. I'll answer the YouTube and I'll come to you. He needs to watch what's going on in the bill though. Because if this bill passes and it allows people to file adjustment of status based on the I-140 approval for more than 2 years, he's completely safe. I mean, he doesn't have to do. Okay. Yes, if he doesn't do it, I would still recommend to go through and consult a lawyer, because there's a lot of calculations that he needs to do. If he moves to another job, what if the EB2 moves? And there are a lot of calculations, and maybe his spouse also need to be involved in making the decisions too. Mm-hmm. It's and there is no clear answer to it, to do this way or that way, because sometimes the judgment call on the lawyers when the priority date moves may not be correct at all. I mean, sometimes they go wrong. So he still needs to consult it. But I would still wait until next week to see what goes on in this bill. If this bill goes through, he's completely safe. Go ahead, sir, with your question. Sorry we interrupted you.
Yeah, we can take the call.
No problem, sir. Hello?
Yes, go ahead.
Hello? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Good evening. Good evening, Rahul Garu. This is Venkat actually. So I have two questions. One is automatic revalidation program, and the first one is I came back to US 2015. I mean, after that I keep on extending my H1Bs. So if I want to go to Mexico, for a cruise on a cruise ride, can I use my automatic revalidation program?
When you go to Mexico, you go to Mexico, or you go to any other location?
Any other, Mexico and Canada. That I heard. I mean, I saw your I saw one of your.
So there are different rules. If you go to Caribbean islands, there are different rules. If you go to Mexico, there is. So I want to know: is it Mexico or is it? I want to know absolutely what is it? Is it Mexico?
Mexico. It's Mexico. Mexico.
If it is Mexico only or Canada only, you are allowed to go to the cruise as long as the cruise is less than 30 days. I don't know of any cruise which is longer than 30 days. And you come back, you do not have any problem. You do not need to have a visa stamping in your passport. As long as your I-94 is valid and you're maintaining the proper non-immigrant status, you would not have any problem in going to the cruise.
Sure, sir. So one on the same topic, I have one question, sir. So when I came to 2015, the CBP site will not change, even though I keep on extending my H1Bs.
That's okay.
That is
that's
okay, right?
That's perfectly okay. You don't have to worry that much.
Okay. Next, the second thing is, so whether the port of entry officer does know about it. I mean,
then
because will they expect the stamping? They know it.
No.
Okay.
They know it. They know. They all know.
Okay. Sounds good. So, second question, sir, about 485. I applied to 485 recently. So I'm following your videos. So when you say marrying of EAD, so let's assume, sir, I don't come to US by using advance payroll. So when I am in US, what are the scenarios when you say marrying to EAD? So let's take my employer without knowing me. Can he use my EAD? I mean, can he use EAD without knowing?
Practically not. You cannot use the EAD. Not.
So what are the scenarios, sir? What are the scenarios, sir,
your H1B extension might get denied. You may work part-time somewhere else. You move to a different company and they file the other company. There are a lot of different scenarios, but if in a normal scenario, if you work with the same employer, you are like
company.
a Sri Ramachandra and then just work for the same employer, don't do anything else. Nobody else can get you married through this adjustment of status application.
So the reason, sir, I'm asking, let's assume if I get EAD, if employer said, no, we cannot apply your H1B extension, you have to use your EAD. So if they said like that, so I have to use EAD.
You don't have an option. You don't have an option. You don't have an option.
I don't have an option. So, but
you don't have an option.
Okay, at that time. But I have to communicate to the employer, right? Do not use my EAD. I have to be on H1. So
no, you're not right. Venkat, I don't,
not right. Okay.
Once your I-140 is approved, I don't see a reason why you have to maintain the H1B. I know that I have given a lot of speech with regards to the marriage. You got it very clear. There are different reasons because I'm worried that if your I-140 is denied, everything will fall down for you. But once your I-140 is approved and you have an EAD, I don't see a reason why you have to not get married to this application.
Okay. I mean, there are so many things saying, if you,
I know.
Unless you get the green card on your hand.
If your only purpose, if your only purpose, if your only living purpose is to just benefit the immigration lawyers, and that's the only living purpose, go ahead with it. Thank you. I will take the benefit of it.
Thank you so much.
There can be accidents. I'm not telling there are not accidents. And some of these people are making it as a big deal, saying that, oh, don't get married to this adjustment of status. No, I defined very clearly what the marriage is, when you should not get married. But once because I was very worried if the I-140 is approved and certain things goes on. If the I-140 is approved or if there is any underlying problems with you, I do not want you to get married to the adjustment of status. And there's one thing is that especially the people who have children who are 15 years age or so, they should not get married to the adjustment of status. That is absolutely they should not. But if you don't have the underlying problems, you can evaluate it. And I support the employers. I mean, when we as an employer's lawyer get the application, why are you doing this? We tell the employer, oh, employee is insisting. He's just wasting your money.
Okay. Got it. Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Andy. Rahul Garu, let's take a very short break, Andy. We'll be back right after.
ఎక్స్చేంజ్ 8,000 రూపాయల బ్యాలెన్స్ మ్యామ్.
ఇవ్వనక్కర్లేదమ్మా, 8,000 మీకే వస్తాయి.
ఎస్ మ్యామ్, మేము కేవలం హాల్మార్క్ 916 గోల్డ్నే అమ్ముతాం. ఇంకా మీకు దొరికింది 100% ఎక్స్చేంజ్ వాల్యూ.
క్వాలిటీ, ఇది మలబార్ ప్రామిస్.
ఇది మా హీరో అల్లుడు కోసం ఫిట్ గా ఉంటుంది.
పర్ఫెక్ట్ గా ఫిట్ అవుతుంది. ఇది మైండ్ డైమండ్ 100% క్వాలిటీ.
సార్, ప్రతి మైండ్ డైమండ్ న్యాచురల్. ఇంకా మేము 28 క్వాలిటీ టెస్ట్లు చేస్తాం.
28 టెస్ట్లా?
ప్రతి డైమండ్ జ్యువెలరీతో పాటు ఇంటర్నేషనల్ ల్యాబ్ సర్టిఫికేట్ కూడా.
కళ్ళు మూసుకుని మీ హీరో కోసం వజ్రాలను తీసుకోండి. ఇది మలబార్ ప్రామిస్.
Mom, what did the man mean when he said go back to where you came from?
Go back, wherever you're from.
Why do they make fun of my name at school?
Kamala.
Dad, who will protect us from climate change?
Global warming, and that a lot of it's a hoax. It's a hoax.
Why is Nani coming back from hospital?
Our family's future is at stake. The choice is ours. Vote 𝗧𝗪𝗡 𝗦𝗪.
I'm a lifelong Republican and I'm pro-business.
I'm a Georgian and I believe in personal responsibility.
I'm a Georgian and I rely on my social security and Medicare.
I am a mother and I believe in immigration policies that support family unity.
My party is not fiscally responsible anymore.
It's irresponsibility that's costing us our lives.
It threatens my social security and Medicare.
It is keeping our families apart.
That's why
I
am
voting 𝗧𝗪𝗡 and 𝗪𝗛𝗡.
ఎక్స్చేంజ్ 8,000 రూపాయల బ్యాలెన్స్ మ్యామ్.
ఇవ్వనక్కర్లేదమ్మా, 8,000 మీకే వస్తాయి.
ఎస్ మ్యామ్, మేము కేవలం హాల్మార్క్ 916 గోల్డ్నే అమ్ముతాం. ఇంకా మీకు దొరికింది 100% ఎక్స్చేంజ్ వాల్యూ.
క్వాలిటీ. ఇది మలబార్ ప్రామిస్.
ఇది మా హీరో అల్లుడు కోసం ఫిట్ గా ఉంటుంది.
పర్ఫెక్ట్ గా ఫిట్ అవుతుంది. ఇది మైండ్ డైమండ్ 100% క్వాలిటీ.
Thank you so much for tuning in. We are back after the break. Rahul Garu, let's take the next caller here, Andy. The caller ending with 7070. Let's admit the caller and antakumundu oka YouTube question తీసుకుందాము. So this is a question from Imi. The question I see here is, can I work for my old employer who filed 485 for me in October, even though I left 2 years back, and work for a current employer concurrently after getting EAD? Would I need a supplement J from both companies?
First recommendation is that if you are not working for the applicant, the company that has filed the 485 application, I strongly recommend that you go back and work for that company though. Because the USCIS may look into whether or not the previous company has a genuine job opportunity to file the adjustment of status. That's the reason I want you to go work for the previous company. Now, I also want you to wait at least 480 days after you work for the company. Then if you want to move to a different company, that's fine. That would be the ideal situation for you. But if you're planning anything different, working for 2 companies and all those things, I would recommend that you check with a lawyer. It's not advisable to do it. It's risky, but I would want you to check with a lawyer before you do any of those things.
Okay, well, that's your advice from Rahul Garu. Let's take the caller's question. Caller ending with 7070. Please ask your question. If you're on mute, please press *6. Rahul Garu probably will take another question in the meantime. I haven't heard from him. So it's again from Priya G. The question here we have is, could you please elaborate for whom is it safe to get married to adjustment of status and whom it is not?
In general, I would advise, if I were the client, if I were the person whose I-140 has been approved, that means that if you're filing an adjustment of status with a downgrade, I-140 must have been approved. If you're filing for the downgrade, I-140 must have been approved for more than 180 days, and your 485 has been pending. It automatically will be pending for more than 180 days if you filed in October. If these two conditions are fair, if I were the person, I mean, if nothing, no criminal record, nothing is there, if I were the person, I would get married to the adjustment of status.
Okay.
Now, if it's a direct filing without a downgrade, after 180 days that you file the adjustment of status, I'm assuming that in both scenarios, you are working for the company that filed the adjustment of status. Assuming that it's not a downgrade, straight application. After the adjustment of status has been filed, after 180 days, yeah, you can get married to this adjustment of status. You don't have to be, waiting for a long period of time. The whole reason why you file an adjustment of status is to get the freedom that is available for you, which is not there in the H-1B. That's important. Now, obviously, if there is any kid that is there, any kid who is more than 14 years age in the adjustment of status, I don't want them to get married to this adjustment of status until the final action date becomes current.
Right. Cool. That's awesome, Andy. Let's take the caller here. I hope can you please press *6 to unmute yourself? Caller ending with 7070, sir.
Yes, go ahead, sir.
Hi, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, thanks, Rahul Garu. Thanks for helping the community. I have a question. So, I'm on EB2. My labor firm, everything was filed under EB2 with master's degree. Am I eligible for EB3? I mean, like strictly filed under EB2, labor firm, everything.
Absolutely, you can. It's like this, certifying a person. If somebody can climb 100 floors in 1 hour, that's EB2. Now you're telling that I have to go back and prove that this guy was able to climb 50 floors in 1 hour. Simple, I can. The immigration lawyer doesn't have to do a lot of different things to prove that. So yes, it's so easy to get to prove if your labor certification, underlying labor certification is what you said, though. It is not at all that tough to get the EB3 approved.
Okay, so even it strictly says minimum qualification, master's degree?
Right, the minimum qualification is master. So when we go there, we have to say that minimum qualification is bachelor's. Well, master's is after bachelor's, so no problem with it. You will get it, no problem. We have done so many times, no problem with it. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. So I have one more question. So I'm my priority date is 2012 March. So for example, if I file downgrade now and say for example next fiscal year, my date comes in the filing chart EB2. So can I withdraw? I mean, how does the receipt was not activated?
As long as you're not married to this application, okay? And if you don't know what the marriage is, you can go back to our TVASIA things where you will learn what a marriage means. Then yeah, you can file one more adjustment of status and withdraw this application. You don't have a problem with it.
Oh, okay. So even if the receipt not is activated, I can withdraw it. Okay.
Yeah, if you have not activated in advance parole, not married, yes, you can do that.
No, I mean, like, say, for example, the downgrade application is not, the receipt number is not generated yet in any year. So,
yeah. Oh, receipt notice will be receipt notice will be generated in a year, okay? That's a long time.
Okay.
It's a very rare that it's taking approximately 10 weeks for us now to get a receipt notice. But 1 year is too long of a time. I've never seen that. But 10 weeks is there. 10 weeks is what is happening right now, but 1 year is too long. Okay? You will get a receipt notice.
Okay, thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. Siddhakar, I want to tell all the audience that yes, it's taking almost 10 weeks to get the receipt notice. So please be patient. Don't call your immigration lawyer and make his day hell. The receipt notices are taking a long, long time.
Okay, that's informative, Andy. Thank you so much for sharing that. So I think it's all about being patient and patient here when it comes to immigration. Let's take the next caller, Andy. We have the caller here, 3287. Before the caller's question, let's have the question from YouTube. It is from 𝗧𝗔𝗟𝗞. He has two questions. A question is, my daughter is going to age out on 1/2022. If my priority date is which is 3/2012 down to EB3 becomes current in final action in the year 2021 for a couple of months, is it going to freeze my daughter's age?
Good question. It only needs to be current one day before she becomes before she turns 21. Okay. Even if it becomes current and moves back, she's safe. So what is important is that to make sure that it becomes current before she becomes 21. And I also want you to have an alternative plan, maybe applying an F1 visa way ahead of time, maybe a 1.5 year ahead of time to apply F1 visa, so that just in case if by any chance something bad happens where the prior date doesn't become current, then you could be able to rely on that.
Right. Okay, that's your plan B.
And please go and write the letter for the congressman in supporting the bill at immigrationgirl.com. Please do that.
Yep, that's a very humble request to all the viewers here. Please go and write a letter and to make this bill into a law very soon. So let's take the caller's question, Rahul Garu. It is caller ending with 3287. Please press *6 to unmute yourself. Rahul Garu, before that, I don't know, we haven't heard from the caller yet. So let's take another YouTube question, Rahul Garu. It is again from Sai.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hi, Sita. Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir, we can. Please go ahead with your question.
Okay. Hi, Rahul. Good evening.
Good evening.
I have a question. It was confusing for me. I reached many people and I didn't get a clarity on this. I was a H1B holder and previously I was with a different employer, and recently, last 6 months, I moved to the different another employer. If I want to leave a country, let's say if I want to visit Europe or any other country or India, do I need a stamping? Because the previous employer stamping is with 3 years, and I still have it till 21 September.
You don't have to go stamping if you're visiting Europe or India. You can come back before your stamping expires, but make sure you mention to the CBP officer when you enter the airport that you are actually working for company B, for which you have a H1B approval. You share them the H1B approval and make sure when you come into the country, the I-94 reflects properly. The I-94 should reflect the expiration date of what your company B's H1B expiring, not company A's passport visa expiration date. So be careful that is done, and then you should not have any problem. By any chance, if the I-94 does not reflect properly, please, you can take the corrective action at that time by contacting a lawyer, but you need to be aware as soon as you enter into the country to check that I-94 is properly reflected. Don't check it after 2 years or 1 year and then you find, I went out of status. Do it as soon as you enter into the country. You'll be fine. You should not have any problem.
Okay, got it.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Let's take the next caller, Rahul Garu. This is a caller ending with 6190. And before that, we have a question from YouTube. It's from Sai again. What he's asking is, what are the changes becoming current if in final action for my priority date in the year 2021, that is before October 2021?
No, it's not clear because he split the question, so I couldn't get it though.
Yeah, I think we'll take the next question here. Probably you can phrase your question again, sir, and get it here. Yes, sir. We have the caller. Yeah, we can hear you, sir. Please go ahead with your question.
Hello, good afternoon. Hey, I have two questions. One is for me first. So, my company has filed for my H1B in premium processing, and I received an RFE on that one. And the situation was my H4 extension is in process.
Okay.
And the RFE, I guess, was asking for some educational information. But what my lawyer was asking was, since my status is kind of not finalized yet because it's in process.
Okay.
Yeah, no, not approved, right? So the USCIS may ask me to, they may give me H1B, but I need to go out of the country, and come back. So we have kind of filed an affidavit stating that I have two kids who are younger kids and I cannot, afford to go back and risk their life with the COVID situation. So what do you think are the chances of getting this approved, I'm just curious,
You can also request, when you're doing a premium processing, you can also request the H4 to be adjudicated along with the H1B. We have tried this many times. We've been successful most of the time, but not all the times. Not just writing an affidavit, but also request the officer, because it will give an authority to him when you request to adjudicate the H4. He doesn't have an authority. It was already assigned to a different officer. When you give a request to them, add the request to it, you will be in a much better position. They should most probably approve with the I-94 along with the H4. They should approve H1 also.
Okay, I'm sorry, and just want to make sure, so this is the case. My wife, I was on H4.
You're an H4,
I was on H4
you filed, you are an H4, you filed for the H4 extension, your I-94 with the H4 expired. Now you filed for the H1B, and a lawyer is telling that you may not get an I-94 because your H4 extension is not approved. That's what you told, is that right?
Yes, and there is the RFE, right? So
you told
she
me
responded back to the RFE. Yeah. So that's right. So my wife's H1 is already approved till 2023. My H4 is in process, right? So, and I found a company who can file for my H1, and which they filed. So, I guess they have 15 days, right? So once the RFE response is posted,
what is your question? What is your question? Your concern is you would have to go outside the country. I addressed it saying that not only just write an affidavit, your lawyer also should request that the officer should adjudicate the H4 extension that is still pending along with the H1B.
But then how is that possible? Because I'm filing for change of status from H4 to H1B. And then why do I request for H4 processing also with my H1B? I'm not able to understand that.
Because
my wife is already on H1.
Yeah, your I-94, you said you filed the H4 extension. Your I-94 expired, is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
So since the extension is pending, H1 cannot be approved unless the extension is approved. That's the reason you want extension to be approved first and the H1 to be approved afterwards.
Okay. Yeah, so what you're saying is that I could have also requested to approve my H4 along with my H1B kind of RFE.
Yes. If you have not already done it, even though you submitted RFE, you can still make one request and try to see if that works out, okay?
Okay. Hey, thank you so much. Hey, and second question, this is for my wife, okay? So we both have I-140 approved, okay? And I'm sorry, I guess we were not kind of up to date with the current change. So I just want to clarify that, so her priority date is May 2015, okay? EB2 category. So can we, I guess what I've heard right now is we can file for 485 if it's more than 2 years?
If this bill goes through, which has a good chance of going through, yes, you should be able to file the adjustment of status. I want you and your wife to go to immigrationgirl.com. I want you to write a letter to the congressman to this bill pass through. If this bill passes through, you will be able to file the adjustment of status, both of you. So this is very good for you. And if you are not getting educated on all these things, though, being not a green card holder and not a green card holder U.S. citizen, I say that this thing, what we do every week, is a must for all the people who are on the H-1Bs and F-1 to attend these things, to educate themselves every week, 1 to 1.5 hours, so that you'll be on top of the things what should be aware of. Okay. Thank you very much.
Absolutely, and we are going to file for that. But can we also get ready for that, or do we just have to wait for the bill to get passed?
You can get ready. What are you going to do? Get ready. First, let's win the war, okay? Let's win the war. To win the war, we need your cooperation. Okay. Your cooperation is absolutely needed, okay?
Please.
And we will enjoy the spoils of the war afterwards, okay?
Okay, sounds great. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Thank you. Thank you.
Humble request to everybody, please write the letters and let's go.
Immigrationgirl.com. That's where we put the link to.
Yeah.
So we already provided the link in the YouTube and Facebook. Please look into that to write a letter to the Congressman and Senator.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Andy. Let's take the next caller, Rahul Garu, caller ending with 7531. Let's admit the caller. And before that, let's take a YouTube question. It is from JB. The question is regarding EB3 downgrading for an I-140 application. I have received a receipt notice, so can I now apply for an I-140 premium processing?
Absolutely, you can.
Okay. And I think he's asking how long it will take after applying EB3 downgrading for premium processing.
Premium processing is taking approximately 15 to 20 days.
Okay.
So that should be the time that should take, unless there is an RFE though.
Okay.
I strongly recommend all the downgrade people to do premium processing.
Okay. Well, that's your answer. So let's take the caller's question here. Caller ending with 7531. Probably this is going to be our last caller, Rahul Garu.
Sure.
Thank you, Quota and Rahul Garu. My priority date is April 7th, 2011 EB2. I have submitted my 485 application.
Downgrade, okay.
My son is, yeah.
Oh, did you, is it straight or downgrade? Is it straightforward? Okay, yeah.
It's a straightforward case, yeah.
Okay.
And my son is in 12th grade. And he's 17 years old. He's going out of status in 3 years, 6 months. Do I need to proceed file for F1 for him?
Not right now. I would wait until he becomes 19. At that point of time, I will think of filing the F1 visa for him. Not right now yet. Okay. It's 3. You can wait for some more time. But be on the alert and keep coming to this TV show so that you will be aware of what's going on.
Sure. And also one more question, sir. My son G28 form is rejected. Last week I have received the receipt number, but my wife everything is good, but for him only is rejected. And my attorney said everything is fine correctly.
Not a problem. Yeah. Not a problem. Not a problem. Absolutely not a problem.
Okay.
It's perfectly all right.
Okay. Thank you, sir. That's what I'm.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, and thanks for all the service and answering all the questions here, Rahul Garu. And this is to the viewers. If you have any more questions, please reach out to Rahul Garu at his office. He's the founder of Reddy Neumann Law Firm in Texas.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Rahul Garu. Have a great rest of the day.
ఎక్స్చేంజ్ 8,000 రూపాయల బ్యాలెన్స్ మ్యామ్.
ఇవ్వనక్కర్లేదమ్మా, 8,000 మీకే వస్తాయి.
ఎస్ మ్యామ్, మేము కేవలం హాల్మార్క్ 916 గోల్డ్నే అమ్ముతాం. ఇంకా మీకు దొరికింది 100% ఎక్స్చేంజ్ వాల్యూ.
క్వాలిటీ, ఇది మలబార్ ప్రామిస్.
ఇది మా హీరో అల్లుడు కోసం ఫిట్ గా ఉంటుంది.
పర్ఫెక్ట్ గా ఫిట్ అవుతుంది. ఇది మైండ్ డైమండ్, 100% క్వాలిటీ.
సార్, ప్రతి మైండ్ డైమండ్ న్యాచురల్. ఇంకా మేము 28 క్వాలిటీ టెస్ట్లు చేస్తాం.
28 టెస్ట్లా?
ప్రతి డైమండ్ జ్యువెలరీతో పాటు ఇంటర్నేషనల్ ల్యాబ్ సర్టిఫికేట్ కూడా.
కళ్ళు మూసుకుని మీ హీరో కోసం వజ్రాలను తీసుకోండి. ఇది మలబార్ ప్రామిస్.
Mom, what did the man mean when he said, go back to where you came from?
Go back, wherever you're from.
Why do they make fun of my name at school?
Kamala.
Dad, who will protect us from climate change?
Global warming, and that a lot of it's a hoax. It's a hoax.
When is Nani coming back from hospital?
Our family's future is at stake. The choice is ours. Vote 𝗬𝗓𝗡 and 𝗧𝗏.
I'm a lifelong Republican and I'm pro-business.
I'm a Georgian and I believe in personal responsibility.
I'm a Georgian and I rely on my social security and Medicare.
I am a mother and I believe in immigration policies that support family unity.
My party is not fiscally responsible anymore.
It's irresponsibility that's costing us our lives.
It threatens my social security and Medicare.
It is keeping our families apart.
That's why
I am
I am
voting
𝗬𝗓𝗡 and
𝗧𝗏𝗪
𝗧𝗏𝗧.
ఎక్స్చేంజ్ 8,000 రూపాయల బ్యాలెన్స్ మ్యామ్.
ఇవ్వనక్కర్లేదమ్మా, 8,000 మీకే వస్తాయి.
ఎస్ మ్యామ్, మేము కేవలం హాల్మార్క్ 916 గోల్డ్నే అమ్ముతాం. ఇంకా మీకు దొరికింది 100% ఎక్స్చేంజ్ వాల్యూ.
క్వాలిటీ, ఇది మలబార్ ప్రామిస్.
ఇది మా హీరో అల్లుడు కోసం ఫిట్ గా ఉంటుంది.